Hello, I'm Emma from English. In today's lesson, I'm going to share some different and more meaningful ways to say sorry. Now, of course, it's okay to say I'm sorry. When you make a mistake or you do something wrong, you can say I'm sorry. But sorry is really overused in English. It's so overused that sometimes it can seem a little meaningless. You see, people use sorry all the time. They apologize all the time for lots of different reasons. Sorry I'm late. Sorry, I forgot to bring the, sorry. And because of that, I'm sorry can feel a little less meaningful. Sometimes it can feel like you don't really care, or you're just saying sorry because you feel like you have to, not because you actually mean it. So when you really need to say sorry for something that you've done, maybe a mistake that you've made or some problem that you've created, well then it's a good idea to use a stronger expression, okay, to show that you really mean it. And today I'm going to share some more meaningful ways to say I'm sorry, some meaningful ways to apologize. Now, we're going to give you a few different options to help you build your vocabulary so that your English sounds more sophisticated and more meaningful. But if you want to improve your English pronunciation and natural expression, then I really recommend the English imitation lessons. All of the lessons there are focused on specific situations, and you'll learn not just what to say, but how to say it. And in English, it's so important, especially when you're trying to be genuine and real. It's so important to change the tone of your voice, and your facial expressions and your body language really helps to convey your message. Now, I created the English imitation lessons especially for my students to help them develop their pronunciation, but also their natural expression. You're going to be able to practice on your own at home. You don't need a teacher or a speaking partner, and you can practice your English speaking skills in your own time whenever it suits you. So if you haven't checked out the imitation lessons yet, grab the link in the description, or you can head straight to the webpage right there. So let's focus on some different ways to say I'm sorry. One of the hardest things about apologizing is admitting that you've done something wrong. Socially, it can be quite an awkward situation, right? It's one that makes you feel a little uncomfortable. Now, if we're talking about a small problem that you created, perhaps you provided your colleague with some wrong information. It was an accident, but still you're at fault. Then it's absolutely fine to say, my mistake. Just own it, you know. It was my mistake. I made the mistake. So you can actually say, oh, my mistake, instead of saying sorry. Now you can also say, my apologies. My apologies, I made a mistake. But if you want to tone it down a little and you want to make it a little less formal, then you can also say, my bad. This has become a really common expression used to admit that you did something wrong in less formal situations. You're late for the meeting. It started an hour ago. Really? Oh, my bad. I didn't have it in my calendar. So it's like, oops, oh, that was my fault. My mistake. You just own it, you know? You don't really need to say sorry as well. You're just claiming the mistake as yours. And these are all great options if the problem you created is not a big one. Like if you were supposed to make a booking for you and 10 mates at a restaurant and you forgot, and when you get there, there's no room for you. That's a good time to say, oh, my bad. Don't use my bad when the mistake is pretty big. Like if you forgot to invite your grandma to your wedding, don't say, oh, my bad. That wouldn't go down very well. It's kind of a bigger problem than just, oh, my bad. So in that situation, you would need something a little more meaningful, okay?